Right, welcome back to another episode of Dave's Garage, and you'll see the Escort has a radiator. So that's obviously what this episode's about, is fitting that, a little bit of fabrication involved. I've only tacked the fabrication in place as well, because this is just the dry build sort of side of it. So when I tear it all down again, I'll fully weld that. You'll see in the video why that is. It was I did intend to fully weld it in place, but you'll see as we come to it. So this is involved a bit of cutting around the top and some cutting around the bottom as well. So a bit of strength out and a bit of strength back in. So I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe and like and share and all that. That does me a big help. As stated, the challenge is make that fit the hole there. Now this is a nice radiator kit I've had off eBay. How good it'll be is another thing, but it was cheap enough. 160 quid for the whole thing. So it came with a fan, shroud, alloy rad, and some wiring gubbins in there, relays and bits and bobs, and a thermostat. So really nice bit of kit, to be fair. Looks okay. The welding looks okay, certainly awful lot better than I could do. I could never weld Ali, so I'm in no position to comment on that. I'm happy with it anyway. But it's kind of designed for the Escort MK1, but not for this shroud setup. So I need to cut this out, as I knew I would be doing. That's why I wasn't too worried when I bent it up when I was messing around with the engine. So what we'll do now is measure up and start marking out ready for cutting up. So we are looking this way around. We'll go with 450 to give us some clearance for the bits of weld and stuff. And we are looking about 470, 480 high. So if we share that in half and work out along here. Well, the markings are rubbed off on this because it's cheap and cheerful job. So and my tape measure packed up, so just cut the end off of it. Okay, so 450. Half of 450 is 225. So we work out where the centre of our doobie dot is. Centre 105. Right. That's centre of the car. 50. Yep. So 225. And we want 2.5 inches in the face back. Where that we landing. So that's just in front of those two. There's two screw holes there, so that's just in front of those. So we can use those as marks to get us going, which is good news. Alright, we'll be using a jigsaw to cut this out as well, as usual, as best we can. I think we can be able to get a jigsaw up there, along there. I'm going to drill holes in the corner here so we can have a rounded edge there, hopefully. And to line that up, we get an 8mm hole, use an 8mm washer, 8mm washer. And just when I've got the two lines squared off like that, I'll put the washer so we can find the centre where I want the drill. Makes a change to be cutting bits out of this car rather than welding bits in. Right, so we've got the those bits cut out ready to go, but I think the next thing we need to do is make a relief in our cross member here. I have to cut this out down along here and sort of up and around there, and make a boxing, sort of reverse boxing, to put the strength back in that panel so the radiator can fit into it. Hey ho, it's all part of the fun, because looking at it, you can see where the radiator support sort of is straight up, but as the whole front end of the car tilts forward slightly, so that's going to push the bottom of that rad further in to the bottom there. Right, so if we're concerned about bonnet space, that's it. It's kind of in place. It's a bit dark, a bit hard to see, but the radiator in place with an inch block on top of the cap. The bonnet dropped down and it's just touching the inch block, so that means we've got about 3/4 of an inch of space underneath the bonnet, and we've got plenty of space under the bonnet for the top of the engine there as well, so that's all good news. Hopefully you'll be able to see where I've marked out for that to be cut out along there. I'll probably have to use angle grinder in there. I don't think I'm going to get the jigsaw in there to cut that out, and then we can start making up a box to go in there. Right, that's that chopped out. But what I have noticed, and why it took a little bit of a hassle to chop it out, and I wasn't aware of, is strengthening brackets in it. So the piece I put back in needs to be something fairly hefty. So I'll rummage around to see what I've got in the garage now, and a bit of box section with a good thickness to it to put that strength back in, which I've just taken out, and it'll be all the way along the front as well, so it'll help tie the two halves together. On a positive note, it's a nice snug fit in there for the radiator now, which is about the same height as I had it to the bonnet down previously, so that's good news. So happy days. Also on the good news front, looks like we've just about got enough clearance for the fan and the shrouding to be on. Once we keep this cable out of the way there, that should avoid any spinning belts down there. So also good news. That's kind of where the radial lens sit. I intend to put some sort of rubber bushings in between there and there to take the vibration. And I know from experience and from what others have done that solid mounting aluminium doesn't go very well. Eventually it stress fractures, so you need a little bit of give on it. That would have been nicer if it was lining up better. That's not the end of the world. You just get a pipe with a kick on it. It's bound to be some sort of rubber pipe somewhere available, or silicone pipe available for that. Out of rummage, and we've got some nice box section here which I used in the front chassis way back when. So a bit of a clean up, and we can cut a section out of that. That is nice and strong and will do the trick nicely. Okay, here's the basis for our box. Bit of box section trimmed out and cleaned up with the flappy wheel. So what I'm going to do now is box these off on the corners with the same material and then spray it up, and then we can install it in the car. There we go, that's it boxed off. So that's a nice strong box section now that'll fit in nicely in the front. So give this a coat of Halford's finest now, and then we'll be ready to weld it into the car. There we go, nicely painted up. And on the subject of Halford's primer, those will remember this has been out for a couple of years now. All the other primers are supposed to be top quality 2-pack epoxy and all that nonsense. Here's the Halford's. There's some leaves been stuck on it, but that is still brilliant. That's what I scratched a bit off a little while ago to see if any rust was creeping under, and it wasn't. So you can see how good this Halford's is at keeping the rust at bay. That's pretty impressive. There we go, and that will fit in there sort of like so. A bit hard to show you with it. Difficult to get a camera in here, so what I'll do, I'll weld that in place and show you the results. Right, well that's it roughly tacked into place. And I think that's how I'll leave it for now, because this is just a dry build stage and it's a bit difficult to get in there with a welder. The space is a bit tight. So I think if I leave it like that, and when I come to tearing it down again, pull the engine all and that out again, I can then fully weld that at that stage. Right, I think the next step is going to turn a little flange down on this, only about 5mm or so, just to give me a little bit more clearance on the radiator and to give a bit of strength into that lip as well. And to do that, I'll scribe a little line across there, and the spanner then just tucking it down gently, just like we did for the wheel arch. So if we go for Sharpie thickness, see how we get on with that. Right, that's come out nice little return flange around there, and these corners come out not too bad either. There's only a little bit turned over, so it wasn't too difficult to shrink those in where I wanted them. So that should give me a nice little gap for the radiator now. And there we go, nice gap around there to stop any chafing and no sharp edges, and a nice factory sort of finish to that. And the fan fits nicely in there as well. Plenty of space here now. Is a good about an inch there before we get into the pulley, so that's good news. I need to do a bit of research into what hoses we can get there. If not, I may have to find somebody who does a bit of alley fabrication and move that from there over to here somewhere, but cross that bridge later down the line. Now the bonnet shuts nicely, no rubbing, no woodies there, and the radiator's fitting in there nicely. I'll probably paint that black when it comes closer to the time, because it helps hide it, and black actually helps dissipate heat better. So as pretty as it is in aluminium, black is better. There we have it. Hope you enjoyed that. That was a bit more work than I first anticipated. I didn't think I'd have to be cutting the bottom out when I first started this, because this is supposed to be a Radiator 4 Mark 1 Escort, but obviously not. It's just sort of a generic thing. The good news is the fan that come with it is all part and parcel as fitted. There's plenty of space down there in front of the engine as well, so That's good. I thought I was going to have to take the fan off and sort of cable tie it through, which isn't the end of the world. It is a way it can be done, but preferably not. And with the kit came some wiring and stuff as well. So we've got a relay there, a fuse, bit of wiring, and even thermostat switch. So it's quite a good little kit. I'll put a link in to it. Like I say, if you've got a Mark 1, you want a radiator, be prepared. This one will involve fabrication, as you've seen in this video, but it is, for what it costs, is a nice little kit. So thanks again for watching, and see you on the next one.